The story of Mamah Borthwick's relationship with Frank Lloyd Wright began to appear in popular fiction nearly a century after it ended in tragedy. It is hardly surprising that the characters in these accounts bore little resemblance to who they had been in real life. This is not to say that a good deal of fiction was not written about Mamah Borthwick while she lived, much of it unflattering exposés of her affair with the legendary architect in the tabloid newspapers of the time. The Ogden Standard even quoted neighbors who pointed to the fire at Taliesin as the strongest argument that the avenging angel still flies. Of course, in some of the accounts, Borthwick's photograph was retouched beyond recognition to make her look the part of the seducer. While certainly unkind and unreliable, these stories are a source of fascination to me personally because Mamah Borthwick and I are descended from the same Scottish immigrant, James Borthwick, who settled in the area of Albany, New York, in 1773. Separately, our family lines found their way to Iowa, settling in different parts of the state. In the parlance of genealogy, she is my second cousin, thrice removed. Growing up, I learned almost nothing about her from my family. My parents' generation observed a kind of radio silence on the subject, and my grandfather Borthwick seems to have known of her without knowing her personally. Families tend to avoid discussing their black sheep, not to mention topics like adultery, family desertion, and murder. In light of this, and since she has no surviving direct descendants, there initially seemed little hope of leveraging family ties to find out anything substantial about her. Furthermore, she left behind no love letters or thought-filled journals. In fact, no personal records of any kind. My own journey to this book has been lengthy, and I began to think of it as an archaeological expedition, digging through public records, libraries, newspapers, sorority and society archives, published works, family stories, and nearly forgotten items in distant relatives' attics and albums. On one occasion in 1989, I found myself in Brendan Gill's hideaway office in Manhattan. The well-known writer for The New Yorker had recently published Many Masks, his biography of Frank Lloyd Wright. As its title implies, the book surveyed Wright mythology and made as much of the masks as it did of the man.